Hi everyone, today we talk about Toll Brothers and their earnings. We're going to get stuck into their earnings report, and then we'll talk about the stock going forward and my opinions on it. So, overall, Toll Brothers actually reported a good earnings quarter. Their revenue and EPS beat top line expectations, which was really good. The stock went down quite a bit and went back up, and that was on news about it talking about that the demand for houses is falling off and dropping. We've known this for a while. And we'll talk about it, and then we'll talk about the company itself. So, Toll Brothers reported its first drop in orders since 2014, led by a big fall off in California demand, a sign that high-end property markets are cooling. Shares slumped, but then recovered. The luxury home builders' financial fourth quarter results announced Tuesday included a decline in orders of 13% from a year earlier. The average estimate from analysts was an increase of 5%. To be honest with you, when you look at the pattern of the chart that I'm going to show you in a little bit, just look and think, why were analysts actually expecting such a high increase? I'll just talk about that when we get down to the chart. Toll Brothers is heavily focused in segments and geographies that are cooling, high-end homes in California, especially in California, which is facing an affordability crisis and declining foreign demand. Orders fell 39%. If we look at this orders going through the years, so you see back in 2012, 2013 we had a big peak, and then it slowed down between 13 and probably halfway through about a year-ish between that 13-14 period, and then it peaked again, and then we had a year where it dropped again. So you can see that it's been dropping down for a little bit, and it's cooling down quite a bit. So we're expecting probably about for another year of quite cool house sales. I think a few people are worried about like the interest rates really. So we'll probably see the cooling of the housing market for another year. Well, about to April now, until it goes back up. So that's a kind of interesting chart just to think about. Net income rose 62% to 311 million, or 2.08 a share. That beat the highest analyst estimate in a Bloomberg survey. So the actual income report was good, and I've talked about this before. When we see companies report bad guidance going forward, it affects the stocks big time. People sell off slightly. That could cause the stock to move quite a bit. And that's what's happened. But overall, it was a really good earnings report, and I think that's what stopped it from going down quite a bit. I've always said Toll Brothers is a well-run company, especially this is the housing company that I would own because it goes to the high end, and housing numbers doesn't affect it massively. It does slightly, but because it's for the high end, a lot of people that buy these houses have a lot of money, and because they have a lot of money, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the world, because they always have a lot of money to be splashing out on a lot of these houses. Some of the houses they built are just absolutely crazy. But yeah, a little bit of a decline. This stock's been on a bit of a decline for a while. The PE is actually around about a 9, I think it is now. I think the forward PE is around about a 7 or something like that. So absolutely crazy low PE. But when going forward, if we look at the forecast of the EPS growth of Toll Brothers and also the revenue side of it, it's actually a really good increase, and they always seem to increase it no matter what. So it's an interesting stock, especially for like $32 a share. That's really cheap. Pay a dividend as well. So overall, I think it's a really strong company. It's well run. It's going through a little bit of a bad time with the housing market right now, but it'll do well. You know, at no point is this company in a bad position, and I think the housing sales will pick up again at some point. And I think this stock is definitely a buy. I've talked about it before, done a big in-depth dive on Toll Brothers, and I've said that I think this stock long term is a good buy, especially when you look at the PE side of it, the revenue side of it. A really good hold, and when I get back into the stock market and start buying shares again in about 6 months' time, this is probably going to be at the top of the list. So don't be surprised next year if you see this going on my list of stocks that I'm buying. It could be there. It's a good opportunity to buy it right now at these prices. And that's the video for today, guys. Talk about Toll Brothers earnings. Thank you so much for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe. Thanks for all the support recently, and I'll see you on the next video.